Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm screaming right now. I'm so excited. You know who I am. It's Profe Kyle, your favorite professor. And I'm very surprised to have this person in front of me because people from Spain don't really like me that much. I don't know why. Maybe Angie's going to tell me why people from Spain don't like me that much. Maybe it's because I always use the word Latino and I always feel like I'm Latino, but I'm not Latino. I don't know if you like me or not, Profe. But we're going to find out more today. But as you guys can see, I got good looking people that follow me. Look at Angie from Spain. Look at that. So, anyways, we got Angie. I already said it. You're from Spain. But Angie, hello. How are you? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm really good. How about you?
No, pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Did
Yeah.
you enjoy the
So,
weekend?
oh, yeah. What is it? It's Sunday right now. Yeah. I'm enjoying. Yeah. But because right now for Angie, it's 10 in the morning. And for me, it's
Yes.
11 in the morning. So I had to go outside. I had to feed the horses, to feed the animals. And then I was on the trails. Actually, one of the reasons that I found Angie and one of the reasons I sent Angie a message because she appreciates nature. And as a Canadian, it always brings a tear to my eye when I see a foreigner from a different country appreciating nature like a Canadian. Because I would say probably one of the best things about Canadians is our love of nature. One thing that we definitely love. So yeah, Angie, I was out in the forest on a little Swedish sled having fun in the snow. So far, good morning. Good morning. What about your morning, Angie?
It's really good. I just woke up to start this
Yeah.
interview. So, yeah.
Oh. Well,
Yes.
what time? From my experience, now I'm gonna learn some things about Spanish people. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see how similar, how different you guys are from Latinos. So we're Latinos from Latin America. They for them early is like 8 in the morning. Is it the same in Spain? 8 in the morning is early for you guys, or do you guys like to get up a little bit earlier?
8 in the morning is a normal time to wake up. Probably 6 or 7 is early for us.
See,
Yes.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Spanish speaking world. You guys like to wake up. Yeah, when somebody says to me, "Oh, I woke up at 8 in the morning," oh, it's so early. I think to myself, "You crazy? That's not early. That's late." Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Angie. I think I've only slept till 10 in the morning twice in my life, and that was only after a night of crazy partying. And then, yeah, of
What?
course,
But you
I had to recover. For me, as a
but you used
Canadian,
to
I
live
do
in
not
Latin
like to wake up.
America.
What?
You used to live in Latin America, right?
Yeah, but I cannot do it. I remember I went to a party in Mexico and the Mexicans were dancing till 6 in the morning. Argentinians, which probably the most Spanish Latinos, yeah, they like to go to the club at 2 in the morning and then they don't go home until 8 in the morning. Who knows? Maybe I'll ask you some questions about that. But first, I want to know a bit about your backstory because I really don't know much about Angie. Like I told everybody watching this, I just saw Angie on Instagram. I think she sent me a message, and I like to when people send me messages, I like to stalk their profiles. Like, ooh, well, what does this person have on their profiles? And like I said, Angie had lots of beautiful pictures of Vancouver. Who knows? I'm going to edit this video. Maybe I'll put some pictures that Angie has. Not too personal, Angie. Don't worry. I'll just pick the ones about nature and stuff to show you guys the beautiful nature of Canada. But first, Angie, you're from Spain, right?
Yeah,
So,
I am.
which part of Spain? Was it? I don't know much about Spain. Is it Madrid, Barcelona? Was it? Oh, you tell me. I don't know much about
Yes.
this kind.
My city is called Granada. I'm from the south. It's a beautiful city, and I recommend everyone to go there because everyone knows about Barcelona and Madrid, but the south, the south is beautiful and
Yeah,
it's cheaper and it's
yeah.
sunnier.
I've heard about. Yeah.
So yes, I totally suggest you to go there.
I've heard.
Yeah,
Well, I've heard that the south is very hot. Is it true? It's very hot, or is it like
it's
just in the
very
summer it's hot, or is it the entire year it's very hot?
depends on the city. My city is pretty hot in summer, it's
Mhm.
pretty cold in winter, but
Mhm.
most of the cities in the south are warm in winter.
Okay.
But our winter is pretty short. It's not like Canada. So yes, winter is
Yeah.
just 2 months.
Yeah. Uh, and the south, because Granada, I think there's the biggest city in the south. Is it? Again, I'm very ignorant about Spain. Because again, most of my students are from Spain, so I'm not going to pay attention to what happens in Spain. I don't care. Europeans, they do whatever they want. Uh, Is it Andalusia? Is that a city or is that what is it called in Spain? Province, states?
Comunidad autónoma.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Andalusia, is that the city or is that the Comunidad Autónoma?
Comunidad autónoma because it gathers many different cities, provinces.
Okay. And Granada is part of that, or is it a different one?
Granada is a province inside the Comunidad Autónoma Andalucía.
What? Oh, like so complicated. Yeah, Spain's pretty complicated. I think was it the what are they called? The Castellan? The people from Barcelona, what are they called?
Oh, Catalunya.
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 So that's its own separate autonomous region, right?
Well, they are part of Spain. They are in the north.
Yeah.
And very close to Andorra and France. But yes, Catalonia and Barcelona is inside of Catalonia.
Yes. Well, just quickly, I like geography. Maybe you don't like geography that much, but I like geography. So yeah. So the different autonomous regions of Spain. So there's the Andalusia, then there's the Catalonia. Then what's the one in the north? I forgot. Bilbao. What's that? That's another one, isn't it?
You can find País Vasco, Basque country.
Yeah, Basque country. That's another autonomous region, correct?
It's yes.
Uh-huh. All right.
We have.
But is every part of Spain an autonomous region, or is it just the ones where they have like a very specific culture and dialect? They kind of have their own autonomy. Because I'm guessing like Madrid and I don't know that much about Spain. I don't know the other cities, but yeah, I guess Madrid and the other cities that are pure Spanish, no dialects, no second language. Is that just normal Spain, or are they also autonomous?
For example, we have, I think, 3 different languages. I'm just able to speak one, Spanish. That's it. We have Catalan
and English. Don't forget about that. You speak English as well. Yeah.
Oh yes, well, trying to.
Yeah.
Yes, but for example, in the north you can find Catalan in Catalonia, Gallego in Galicia, Basque in Basque country or País Vasco. In Valencia, they speak Valencia or Valenciano. It's like it's similar to Catalan, I guess.
And is that in the north or the south?
It's north and then is the side close to
on the
coast. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not in the south. In the south, we speak different, but we speak still Spanish.
Yeah.
But we speak so different. Our accent is difficult to understand.
Well, actually, I haven't uploaded the interview yet to YouTube, but I talked to one gringo, and he learned Spanish in Spain, and he went to Andalusia. So actually, when he speaks Spanish, he speaks, I guess, like you. And so I was asking him a few questions about the area, because I think the biggest city where you live is it Sevilla? Is that the biggest city?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he lived in Sevilla for a year or something like that. Because I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard from somewhere that I think most of the conquistadores that went to Latin America, they came from the south, because that's where all the really macho bravo Españoles that had conquered.
Don't say that.
The Muslims.
They're gonna kill me.
They're gonna kill you. Which one? Your Latino friends or your Spanish friends?
Yes, Latino friends.
Latino friends, yeah. Oh, Latinos, you know that happened 500 years ago. Let's forget about it. But yeah, so I heard that like a lot of the dialects in Latin America, they're more or less based on the Andalusian dialect. But I was talking to this guy, he said, not too much. He says the Caribbean and Latin America, they kind of speak a little bit like they do in Andalusia. But I heard that you guys still use the Andalusia. Yeah. Right.
Yes, we use that sound.
For
we
me,
make a difference between C, Z, and S.
Actually, because in my class, again, I would never have Spanish people in my class, so I kind of use you guys as an example, and I always say, okay, the TH in English without vibration, it's like the Spanish with the S or the Z. I don't remember. But But yeah, so is it the S or the Z that is pronounced?
Z. Z.
The Z. Oh, the Z.
Yes.
Okay, so the Z. So,
Yes, the
for
Z.
example, with Lionel Messi, so do you guys say Messi or Messi?
Messi, because it's double S.
Okay, so if it's a S, it's a S. If it's a Z,
S
it's
is
Esa.
like 3. Yes.
But what about, because how do you say Andalusia? Is it Andalusia or Andalusia?
Andalusia.
But it's not a Z. It's a C, isn't it?
Yes, but the C is pronounced as the Z.
Oh,
It's the same.
okay. Okay. So the S is pronounced S, the C is pronounced th, and the Z is pronounced tha. Correct?
Yes. C is like Z. Z is, and S is.
Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, now I'll be prepared if I go to Spain. I'm gonna know how to do it.
Yes, please.
What about España? Is it España or España?
España con S.
Okay, with S. Okay. I think I was saying España before. Okay, I better make sure I don't say that. No, don't say that. I don't want to make a fool of myself. All right, so okay, going back. Where was I? Okay, talking about Spain. So you grew up your entire life in the south of Spain?
Yeah. For a long time, until I was 18, I was living in another city called Cadiz, because my mom was a teacher, so we moved, teachers moved to different provinces, and then my parents moved to Granada. My mother was originally from there, and at that time I moved to Madrid because I started studying my bachelor.
Okay, and what did you study in university?
When? Oh, a long time ago.
Well, yeah, but see, I think the Latinas, they got their genetics from Spain, because you look like you're like 25. How old are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm 33.
Holy, yeah, geez, yeah. I think the only Latinas that get old might be the Argentinians. That's because they burn themselves so much. Those crazy ladies in Argentina, they say burn.
Okay, right. I am half Argentinian.
Oh, really? Well, but you take much better care of yourself than those crazy Argentinian girls. All right, Argentinians, I love you, but you guys gotta stop burning yourself in the sun. It's not good for your skin, okay? All right, that's impressive. 33 years old. You look good. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, what did you study? What did you study in university?
I started studying advertising in Madrid, and then went back to Granada, and then I went back to Madrid again to study one more time.
Okay.
And then again moved to Granada. So I moved a lot.
Moved a lot. Yeah. Is that because you like Granada, or is that because it was cheaper to live back home? What was the reason for moving back and forth?
Yes, because my parents were there. So yes, it was cheaper to live in Granada, and it's not very easy to get a good job in Spain. So that was the reason. I found a job in Granada, so I moved there. I was working in that job for 7 years or so, and then I decided to move to Canada.
Oh, okay. All right. But still, okay, I want to talk about Canada, but still, I want to stick to Spain for a moment now, because Madrid is very famous. And at the same time, at the very beginning, you kind of said, hey, Spain is more than Barcelona and Madrid. So I'm wondering, do you like Madrid, or you not like Madrid? What is your opinion about the capital? Because I've heard many gringos, kind of like Buenos Aires, they say it's a beautiful city, one of the most beautiful cities they've ever been to. But I don't know what the people are like. I don't know if they're nice. I don't know if they're mean. But yeah, what's your opinion about the capital of Spain?
Yeah, Madrid is, you love it or you hate it. Okay. In my case, I love it. I had a great experience in Madrid. I love living in Madrid. I enjoy so much, and I met a lot of good people. So yes, I have a really good opinion about Madrid. It's very full of people. It's more touristic, but I love that city. It's beautiful. You have many things to do.
Yeah. Well, I've heard, so you said it's touristic, but again, I don't know much about Spain, but like I know I got my connections in the world, the underworld of gringos, and I know gringos that have been to Spain, and they say like Barcelona is where all the tourists go. They all go to Barcelona, and they say Madrid is nice because it is touristic, but you don't feel like you're surrounded by tourists. Where if you go to Barcelona, was that the one street, Las Ramblas? You like if you go to Las Ramblas in Barcelona, you're just surrounded by tourists. all the pickpockets. They say the pickpockets are horrible in Barcelona, but they say
Yeah.
you go to Madrid, you feel, like you feel like a tourist, but you don't feel like you're surrounded by tourists. It feels like a regular, normal city. So yeah, is that more or less true, or is what they say false?
Probably, yes. Barcelona is very touristic. I've been in Barcelona just once, and it was a long time ago, so I don't really
Yeah.
remember the feeling being there. But in Madrid, it's different. It's full of students as well,
Okay.
so it's pretty cheerful and it's pretty alive. Is what
Mhm.
I like the most from Madrid. Yes, but probably it's different. Also, Barcelona has the coast close to the
Okay.
city,
Yeah.
so people like to go to the beach, and
Hmm. Yeah. I
maybe it's
think
crowded.
I think Madrid is like more of a. I've heard the parties in Madrid are really crazy. Like the young people, they like to party in Madrid. It's if
Yeah.
you want to party, you go to Madrid and you have a good time. That's true.
Yep, it's true.
That's true.
I
Okay.
confirm.
You can confirm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like just seeing photos. Well, of course, Barcelona. I've seen the photos. Barcelona looks beautiful, but Madrid also looks beautiful. Is the entire city? Is it a very beautiful city, or does it kind of depend on which part of the city that you're in? If you want to see that beautiful architecture and urban planning, I guess from colonial Spain or Spain from
Mm,
the past.
I will say that Madrid is so beautiful. All Madrid is
Yeah.
beautiful. I like downtown more than
Yeah.
the little um, neighborhoods close to the center of the city. But
Hmm.
I will say that all Madrid is beautiful because of the architecture and because you can find many places, restaurants, uh, cinema, many places where you can enjoy. So I don't know. I don't think there
Hmm.
is a ugly part in
No.
Madrid. I
It's like
don't remember
all
that.
beautiful, all
Maybe,
you
maybe
don't even
it
remember.
is.
There's not even an ugly part in Madrid. Well, that's pretty good if there's no ugly parts in the city.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I have good
Uh,
memories about Madrid,
yeah,
as you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
see.
Yeah, I can see. You got a big smile. Like, oh yes, I like
Yeah.
Madrid. Actually, and you said you're half Argentinian. You said
My father is Argentinian.
father. Well, so I'm wondering because Latinos always complain about Argentinians. So like the other, like Argentinians are Latinos, but I think you probably know they always complain like, oh, goddamn Argentinians. They think they're European. And yeah, so
Yes, I
most
know.
Argentinians are of Italian or Spanish descent. So your father is Argentinian. Maybe for the Argentinians or for the other Latinos, how similar are Argentinians to Spaniards? Are they very similar? Are they completely different? Are there any similarities? What is your
Um,
opinion about it?
well, we have a common language.
Okay. That's all you can
Uh,
say. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we are pretty different. They have a special behavior.
Yeah.
Yes, they are different. Also, my father is from Buenos Aires, and they
Oh,
have
okay. So
a
he's
strong,
Porteño. Yeah.
yes, es porteño.
So when you
So
say strong, because I think for me, I've been to Buenos Aires. It just seems like they have lots of confidence. They have a very big ego. They're very proud of who they are. Is that what you're describing, or is it something else?
yes, totally agree.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
like that. They are like, and
Yeah.
they speak a lot.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you'd say Argentinians talk more than the Spaniards?
Yes.
Really? Oh,
Totally.
okay. So Spaniards are a
Yes.
little bit more, a bit calmer.
Quiet.
Oh, okay.
Well, compared to Canadians, we speak too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because actually, I went
But
to Argentina and I thought they were quiet compared to other Latinos. So now I'm thinking that if I go to Spain, all the Spaniards is going to be very quiet. But of course, yeah, compared to Canadians, I'm guessing you guys speak a lot more than us for sure. Hmm.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, good. And actually, for anybody watching this, I didn't really say at the beginning, but Angie's a little bit nervous because I told her we're going to do this in English, and she said, "Oh, I'm just learning English." But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So if anybody's like, "Oh, why does Angie seem a little bit nervous?" It's because she's a bit scared to speak in English. But so far, she's doing a good job.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
but Angie, you moved to Canada, so I'm curious. Because you lived in Madrid, lots of people love Madrid, but you kind of touched on it a little bit. Obviously, the crisis in Spain after 2008 for young people. I never been there, but obviously in the news they constantly talk about youth unemployment. There's no jobs for young Spanish people in Spain. They got to go to England. They got to go to Germany. They got to go to other countries. So is that the main reason that you went to Canada, or was there a different reason that you went to Canada?
It was the reason. Well, at that point, I wasn't living my best moment, so I needed a change and
Okay.
I needed to get out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
So I wanted to find a different job or improve my position, or
Mhm.
I needed to change. Also, I didn't speak English at all, and I wanted to learn English. Spain wasn't the best place to do it because I cannot practice to anyone.
Mhm.
And I decided to come to Canada because I didn't want to go to England just because it's full of Spaniards. But then I
Okay,
realized
because yeah,
that
because for
Canada is
me,
full of Latins.
uh, yeah, because yeah, from what I know, British people love Spain and Spanish people love Britain. It seems like a symbiotic relationship. You guys love each
Yeah.
other for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of
Mhm.
the shared history, the famous war, the Spanish Armada, and who knows all the other crazy stuff that happened between Spain and Britain. But yeah, so for me, yeah, you think that a Spanish person would go to London or something like that, but yeah, you decided to go to Canada. But so the main reason was because you want to, fresh start, learn English, and also you wanted to be away from Spanish people. Was
Yeah.
it Spanish people or just people who spoke Spanish because you really wanted to focus on learning English?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why. Well, it was a random decision actually because I didn't know
Okay.
anything about Canada. It was because I saw
Okay, yeah.
something about Canada on Facebook. I was like, why not Canada?
Okay,
And I
yeah.
came here. I didn't even know where Vancouver was.
No?
I just
Okay.
knew about Toronto, but because I came through an agency, and they asked
Okay.
me, "Where do you want to go, Vancouver or Toronto?" I said, "What is the difference?" And they say,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's totally different.
That's
The
true. Yeah, very different.
weather."
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
yes, I decided to
so
come
what
here.
made you decide Vancouver? Because I'm guessing they told you, okay, so Toronto is more, it's like the biggest city in Canada,
Hmm.
very cosmopolitan, lots of restaurants and stuff like that. Big city, kind of like New York, Vancouver, big city as well, but more Asian, more nature. So yeah, what did they tell you that made you decide I want to go to Vancouver?
Because they told me the weather it's warmer here.
Yeah, okay. Uh,
Also because they told me if I like sports, this is a better city for outdoors, nature
yeah.
sports, and all those things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I lived in Vancouver for 4 years, and actually I was talking to another Canadian yesterday. He's lived all over Canada, and yeah, he said Vancouver is the most beautiful city in Canada, and I would say I agree. And even traveling a little bit, yeah, no, maybe not architecturally not as beautiful as Madrid or Buenos Aires or Paris or London, but when it comes to nature, like the mountains, you got the bay, it's a beautiful city. So when you got to Vancouver, did it live up to expectations when you first saw it from the car window or from the train? Was it like, oh wow, it's beautiful, or was it underwhelming? Was it overwhelming, underwhelming, or normal for you?
Well, to be honest, I didn't like it so much, the city. It was like,
Yeah.
it's nice, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I'm missing something because I was
Okay.
expecting to have a little bar in a beautiful secret street or something like that, like in my
Yeah.
city.
Hmm.
And it was pretty full of big towels, and I don't know, it's a city, it's a business city.
Yeah, for sure. And
But
and
then
like
when
yeah, the cities in Canada are also not that old. So I know what you're saying because I think in like yeah, in Argentina I've seen them. I think in Madrid they're very famous. Yeah, those little tiny bars. You just like you're
yeah.
walking down the street and all of a sudden there's a bar with tapas, españolas, and
Yes.
so yeah, I can imagine for somebody who's used to all these like tiny traditional bars that yeah, you go to Vancouver, it's gringo culture. Yeah, they're not really any tiny cute places to be drinking and eating like in Spain. There's a few, I'm guessing, but not as much as in Spain.
Also, I came in October. It's
Oh,
not the
okay.
best weather because
Mhm,
it's pretty dark, but
mhm,
everything changed when springtime came.
mhm.
So yes, my mindset was different because it was sunny, the weather was warmer, and I started seeing Vancouver differently.
Yeah,
Also, I started going outside to the nature, to the mountain, and wow, it blew my mind.
yeah,
It's beautiful. I love that.
yeah. So, yeah, at first you came, obviously October, like you said, not the best. I wouldn't say it's the worst. Probably you probably agree the worst is January, February, probably the worst months in Vancouver. Just for anybody watching this, anybody thinking about going to Vancouver, actually, I have one student. She's from Honduras. She just moved to Vancouver, and yeah, she went in December, but she already knew. Like she already knew, but I told her like you're going in December. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be rainy. Just know it's probably gonna be depressing for a few months. But yeah, when spring comes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, you arrived in October. Not the worst month, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, definitely not as beautiful as September, August. So yeah, you come October, kind of ugly. Was it already raining in October or not?
Yeah,
Not that bad. Yeah, it
a
was already raining.
lot,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. So it was already raining, and yeah, of course, the architecture in Vancouver isn't as beautiful as in Spain. And yeah, you don't really want to be going to the mountains when it's raining like that. So at first, a
No,
little bit
yes, I like
underwhelming.
that.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
that. Yeah.
actually, I'm guessing. Well, anybody watching this might be confused, but of course, Angie know these places. So in Vancouver, there's one of the first places tourists go, or people who are first moving to Vancouver, is the Grouse Grind or Grouse Mountain. Did you go to Grouse Mountain right away, or when did you first go
Of
to Grouse
course,
Mountain?
it was my first hike.
Yeah, first hike. So what,
Yes,
October, or did you wait a few months until you went?
I don't remember. I think it took me a couple of months or so because
Yeah,
I need to meet people. I came
yeah.
by
Mhm.
myself, so I
Okay.
didn't have friends. I didn't speak English. It was
Yeah,
I
that's true.
needed
That's
time
true.
to get used to the place
Mhm,
and to make some friends
mhm,
until I got them.
uh-huh,
I didn't go to growth. Yes.
mhm.
So
Yeah, I think that's another reason I really want to talk to you because yeah, you said you like the English you're speaking right now, you learned it in 2 years, correct?
3 years. Yes.
Oh, 3 years. Okay, but still, it's really like 3 years. That's really
Yeah.
good that you're speaking this good of English. So when you first came, you didn't really speak any English. I'm guessing you took some courses in Spain. Actually,
Mm.
I was a bit surprised because whenever I'm researching, like on Google, for example, and I guess my competition for English institutes, they're all in Spain. And there's like Vaughan Group, there's UTalk, and there's all these Spanish English institutes. Of course, I don't know if they're good or not, but it seems like all the major English teaching institutes are in Spain. But I guess, yeah, how would you describe how you learned English in Spain? Did you learn any, or what? You had no education in English?
Not really, because when I decided to come to Canada, and I
Mhm.
really came to Canada, it was
Mhm.
just 1 month difference. So I
Oh,
didn't have
okay.
any time to prepare myself to come
No.
here. I just got a book, English for Dummies.
Oh
It's what I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But
Did,
it
did
doesn't,
they
it
sell?
did,
Do they sell those in Spain?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Okay.
didn't help a lot.
No.
So I just came and I thought it was going to be so easy, but it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Uh-huh.
And I had a lot of stories about mistakes that I made with my English. So funny,
Uh-huh.
by the way.
Uh-huh.
But my process to learn English was very natural because I started studying in a school, but it was a business school.
Okay. In Vancouver.
And yes, in Vancouver, because
Okay.
if you want to work, you have to study something.
Ah, okay.
You
Well,
cannot
actually,
study
but
just English.
I want you to keep going. But before you do, because you said you came with an agency, so was it an au pair? Was it a student exchange? What kind of a program were you doing?
Yeah, it's for people who wants to come to Canada. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
They
Just,
they they
just.
they show you your options if
Uh-huh.
because for us it's an unknown country, to be
Yeah.
honest, because we
Yeah.
don't receive many news from Canada,
Yeah.
which is better because we have many people here. So sorry, less people here.
So say you don't want people to know about Canada. Okay, like
No,
we
no,
got enough
it's
people. No more, no more, no more. Okay.
it's perfect like it is.
Okay.
But yes, so they show you what you can do, what your options are,
Mhm.
what courses you can take as a student. They just show you your options. That's it, and they
Mhm.
help you with that. They help you to pay the school and all those things to do all the process.
Okay.
The visa, because I didn't have any idea about visas. I didn't even
Mhm.
know that I have to get a visa to work in another country.
Oh, well, yeah, well, because in Spain, like you have was it the Schengen visa, so you can basically work anywhere in the
Oh
European
yeah,
Union. Yeah.
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 So for me, it was something totally new,
Okay.
and because I wanted to come fast,
Mhm.
I just did all my process with them.
Okay.
Yes, I don't remember
So
what
so
what
so it's more,
percentage.
but it's more or less a migration agency that you used, right? So
Yes,
basically, an
yes,
agency that helps you move to Canada.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think lots of those exist right now. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where were we before? I wanted to ask you about that, but what were you talking about before now? Oh, yeah. You're at a business school, you said, and that's
Oh
where you were
yeah,
learning English. So you're taking business classes and English classes at the same time?
no, the classes were in English,
Mhm.
and it was so difficult because, to be honest, I didn't understand anything at the
Okay. Yeah.
beginning, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell I'm doing here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but every day after my classes, I
Okay.
went back home and I started watching YouTube videos in YouTube,
Hmm.
trying to socialize and to make friends and to
Yeah.
be able to speak with people. And that's why that's how I started to learn English. Then COVID hit and
Oh,
the
yeah.
Canadian
Mhm.
experience stopped for me. So I decided
Mhm.
to start a volunteer.
Okay.
And I started volunteering in Vancouver Art Gallery just to be in
Ah, yeah.
contact
Yeah.
with people. But
Yeah.
everyone wearing masks,
Uh,
the glasses in
oh,
front of their faces. So
yeah.
I didn't read their lips. So
Oh, yeah.
it was
Yeah. That'd be
so
very
difficult.
difficult. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just kind of have to like, yeah, you really have to train your ears in order to
Yes,
listen to
to
people
guess
like that.
what they were saying.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But other than that, it was a nice experience. As I said, at the
Mhm.
beginning was hard
Mhm.
because you have to get used to all the new things, all the culture. It's totally different from Spain for sure, or for Europe.
Yeah.
But now I love living in Canada. I love Vancouver.
Mhm.
People is so nice, it's so friendly and so patient. So my
Mhm.
experience has been really, really nice.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Vancouver Art Gallery is a beautiful. I get, but who knows? You're from Spain, it's probably like, it's not a. Yeah, we got
It's
tons of
nice.
buildings like this, but for Canadians, it's like, oh my goodness, it's one of the few old buildings that we have in the
Yeah,
city. So yeah, for me, I love the Vancouver Art Gallery, and it has a skating rink. Does it still have the skating rink outside in the
yeah,
wintertime?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is.
Mm. All right. Oh, I was gonna talk about something else now. Oh, I got so many things on my mind right now, Angie. All right. Now, oh, so you're in Vancouver. And actually, I think what you talked about making friends, I think lots of Latinos they ask me, you know, how do I make friends with, gringos when I move to the United States or Canada? And for me, it's really not that difficult. Of course, like you said, cultural differences. But at the same time, I think there's lots of opportunities to meet people. So, like you said, you volunteered, and I think you probably saw it as an opportunity to socialize and to get to know people. So, I think anybody watching this, I think Angie was very intelligent. Did exactly what I would do if I was going to a new city. She just tried to find ways to meet people. So she volunteered. I don't think you necessarily wanted to take the business classes, but also another good way to meet people and to learn English is obviously taking those business classes. So yeah, for me, it's really not that difficult. Just got to find ways to get involved in the community. And I think it's a lot easier. I'm not too sure about Spain, but sometimes it's kind of strange for me when people from other countries, like Latin America especially, say, "Oh, it sounds so difficult." Like for me, it's easy. There's tons of hiking groups, or when I was in Vancouver, I was part of volleyball leagues. So there's tons of volleyball leagues, sports leagues. There's the famous Gringo community centers, and they have programs. So for me, it's really not that difficult in Canada to meet people. But like you said, I want to talk about that now. Cultural differences. So you said there's cultural differences. So for you, what were the biggest culture shocks or culture differences between Canadians and people from Spain?
Well, if you want to meet with someone, a Canadian person, you need to make an appointment. For us, it's totally different.
Oh yeah,
You
okay. So
just yeah.
explain that. Like I think I kind of know what you're gonna say, but at the same time, I want to know. So because I think Spanish people, similar to Latinos, you guys just kind
Yeah.
of go to your friend's house and say, "Hey, I was in the
Yes.
neighborhood. How you doing?
Yes, it's very
Let's drink
spontaneous.
some wine." Yeah, very spontaneous. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And here you have to ask for that. Hey, do you have time tomorrow at 5 p.m. to to
Of
meet with
course.
me? Do you want to hang
Yeah,
out? Yes.
yeah. For me, it's
And
obvious that
then,
you gotta, yeah, respect my time. You gotta ask me if I have time or not to see you. Yeah.
yeah, that's a very Canadian thing. Also, the time for dinner. For me, it's pretty late.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because so I think this is one thing where Argentinians and Spaniards are very similar. So you said late or early?
No, for me, it's late in Spain.
Okay,
Late
because
in the night.
for me, Canadians, we have supper at 6 p.m. more or less 6 p.m.
Yes. So
Okay,
early.
so that's early or late?
For me, it's early. Compared to
Okay, yeah,
Spain, we
yeah,
have our dinner at
yeah. You
10
guys,
p.m.
yeah. So very similar to Argentina, right? You guys have dinner at 10 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely very different. Do kids? Yeah. So kids also have dinner at 10 p.m.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Everyone.
yeah. Because that was the biggest shock for me when I was in Argentina, for example, is I went to a famous, Argentinian barbecue place. You got your father, so you probably know what I'm talking about. So I went to this restaurant and I went at Argentinian dinner time. Well, actually, a little bit early. I went at 9 p.m. Because, yeah, for me as a Canadian, very difficult to have dinner at 10 p.m. I don't know how you
I know.
guys do it. I'm guessing you say the same thing to Canadians. How do you guys go to sleep with an empty stomach? And for a Canadian to Spanish people or Argentinians, it's how do you guys go to sleep with a full stomach? It seems so strange to us. But yeah, so I go to this restaurant and what's 9 p.m. and I'm eating my meat. And then it's about 10 p.m. and then I start seeing Argentinian families enter the place and they got kids with them. And I'm thinking, when I was that age, I was already sleeping for 1 hour because, for Canadian kids, like, okay, kids, you
Yes.
have to go to bed at 9 p.m. And I was just thinking, wow, like these kids, they don't go to bed until like 11 p.m., midnight in Argentina. I think in Spain, it's the same thing. You guys don't go to bed until, yeah, what time do you guys go to bed in Spain? Is it like midnight, 1 in the morning?
Yes. Yes. Something like that. Midnight or 1 in the morning. Yes. Some
Yeah.
people go to bed earlier, but
Mhm.
that's not my case.
Yeah. So, and
But for me,
do you still go to bed? Like, do you still have supper and do you still go to bed at the same times in Spain, or have you assimilated to the Canadian culture? You now do things at a Canadian time.
I'm trying to improve my habits since I'm here.
Yeah.
But I'm still Spanish.
Still Spanish.
Yes.
So you still have supper at 10 p.m.
Yes, sometimes, yes, I still go to bed pretty late or pretty early in the morning.
Yeah.
Depends on how you see this, but yes,
Mhm.
it's hard for me to go early to bed. I'm having my dinner early for sure,
Mhm.
but sleep is still my thing. I have to fix that. I have to
Uh-huh.
improve my habits.
Well, I guess just from your opinion, because again, cultures are different. From your opinion, do you think it's good that Canadians go to bed earlier, or do you
Yeah.
think it's bad that we go to bed earlier? What is your opinion?
No, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Everyone needs to sleep.
sleep is very important. Well, and
Yeah.
actually, Spain is, I think, famous for the siestas, because I think gringos, when we're growing up, we kind of assume that it's the Mexicans. We think, oh, all Mexicans are constantly having siestas. But then I started to meet Mexicans, and then I went to Mexico and I realized there's no Mexicans having siestas. Yeah, and then I went to Argentina. They did have siestas. And then I started hearing, oh, the people who really have siestas are the Spanish. The Spanish are the ones that have the siestas between 1 and 3 p.m. So
Mm,
I'm wondering, yeah, does it still happen in Spain, the siestas?
I think if you are on vacations, probably
Yeah.
yes, you will have your nap. Or if you work for the government. If you work for a private
Okay.
company, siestas don't exist.
Okay, they don't exist yet.
No.
Yeah. And because yeah, like when I was in Argentina, for example, I like to have lunch at like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., but everything was closed. Is it still the same in Spain where everything is closed between 1 and 3 p.m., or is it more, I guess, the British Anglo-Saxon
No.
cultures
You can find some places open, but it's more for tourists, for
more for
sure.
tourists? So yeah, so it's still, you guys still close between 1
Yeah.
and 3 p.m. just to take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or they are open, but they don't cook, or they haven't started cooking yet. So you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can eat something cold, but
Mhm,
nothing really a really good plate for
mhm.
locals. So my
Okay.
suggestion is go later.
Go later. Yeah. Go at like 3 p.m. Well, yeah. Talking about food then. So Now, in most of Latin America, the most important meal is lunch. So I'm wondering, in Spain, is it the same thing? The most important meal is lunch, or is it supper or breakfast, or is it kind of you guys spread out the calories in between the three meals?
Yes. Actually, I think we have five foods because we have the
Oh, really?
breakfast,
Okay.
then we have a snack, then we have
Mhm.
our lunch, then we have
Uh-huh.
another snack called
Mhm.
merienda. I love meriendas.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And then and
So yeah, Argentinians have merienda. So is it the
mhm,
same as in Spain, where you get some croissant, you get a croissant and you drink some
yeah,
coffee and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's the
Mhm.
same.
At 5
And
p.m., right?
then yeah, five,
Yeah.
six,
Okay.
yes. And
Okay.
then our dinner.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And what's the dinner for Spanish people? Is it like protein, carbs, and a salad, or is it nice and small? What is the typical Spanish supper?
Mm, yes, probably protein and salad and bread, of course,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
then
for
a
sure.
little dessert. And
Mhm.
that's it. Maybe a yogurt or something like that. Or
Okay.
oh, sometimes a glass of milk with cereals or with cookies
Oh, oh, really? Oh,
after
interesting.
dinner. Yes,
Really? Yeah, because yeah, for
before you
gringos, we're
go
gonna
to
have that for
bed.
breakfast. We're gonna have that for breakfast, not for supper. Oh, okay, so you guys have,
Yes, but it's before you go to bed, it feels so good. You
yeah.
will sleep as a baby. Yes.
Oh, maybe it's a Spanish secret. You gotta start having cereal and milk before bed. All right. Uh, okay. So going back to Vancouver. Now, when I lived in Vancouver, like you, I think it surprised you probably. There's quite a few Latinos in Vancouver. So I'm wondering, your friends, because you said that you start to make friends
Yeah.
when you're in Vancouver. So your friends, are they mostly Latinos? Are they mostly Canadians? Are they Chinese? Are they other foreigners from India? Yeah. How
Mm,
how would you describe the people in Vancouver? And yeah, who are the majority of your friends?
I have a great mix of friends.
Yeah.
Probably now most of them are Latinos, but I also have Canadian friends or Asian friends,
Mhm.
Canadians.
Like Asian Canadians?
Yes, but I have different groups of people.
Mhm.
Uh, yes, all of them are from different places.
Mhm. So
Yes,
it's
but I live with Spanish speakers and one Canadian,
okay. Okay. Well,
and
yeah.
he's
So
so nice.
yeah. Okay. Now, Vancouver is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Have you did you really notice that when you moved to Vancouver? Like, oh wow, like things are really expensive here.
I knew that, but salaries are not bad, so
Mhm.
it's affordable for me at least.
Yeah,
I don't pay a big rent. I know that rents here are the worst. I'm very
yeah,
lucky.
mhm.
Also, food. Well, food depends. I don't find that food is really, really expensive.
No,
Just
no,
sometimes
okay,
for certain things, but not for
mhm.
everything.
Okay,
And of course, if you want to do activities, you have to pay for everything.
yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
Maybe that is expensive, but I don't know. I cannot complain.
no,
The three first months are the worst because you
okay,
have to save some money, you have to get used to the city, you have to find a job, and it's probably the most difficult part when you
yeah,
arrive to Canada. But
mhm.
then once you get all your things, it's normal. I
Yeah,
know it's expensive, but for me it's been good.
yeah. Well, because I think, and for a lot of young people in Vancouver, when I was there, yeah, you have to like rent is really expensive. So
Yeah.
having your
Yes.
own apartment usually is not an option for young people in
Yeah.
Vancouver because it is very expensive. So I guess in your case, do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house with lots of roommates? What is your living situation right now?
Yes, I live in a shared house. We are four in total, so it's not
Okay.
bad. But yes, that's true. Rent is pretty expensive in Vancouver. I don't live in downtown because I cannot
Yeah.
pay for that. I live
Yeah,
in
of
a beautiful
course.
neighborhood that is 20 minutes from
Yeah, so which
downtown.
neighborhood do you live in? I'm guessing
Canby?
people who, yeah, Canby. Okay. So I remember Canby. Canby, Canby in which street?
I'm in the 28th with
Canby.
Heather.
So
You know the
it's kind of like
Van-
the
Vancouver,
middle of Vancouver, right?
yes, Vancouver Children Hospital.
Okay, I think so. But yeah, because Canby is the street. If you follow it, it goes to
Yeah,
downtown, right?
yeah,
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 yeah. I think I know. I think I know. Is I don't know. Is Queen Elizabeth Park? Is it nearby?
yeah. You got it.
Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah, it's a nice part. It's very quiet neighborhood, lots of
Mhm,
houses. And
mhm.
yeah, lots of beautiful parks. Well, Vancouver has lots of
Ye-
beautiful parks. Okay, yeah, so I know
Yes.
where you live. All right, so you live in a shared house with four other people. Now, the Spanish speakers, where are they from? Are they from Latin America?
Um, One is from Mexico, the other one is
Mhm.
from Spain, from the
Okay.
south as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, the other guy is from Ontario,
Okay.
um, from Granada.
Uh-huh. Well, and then tell the people who are watching, because I'm guessing most of them are going to be Latinos. So, how are there lots of Latinos in Vancouver, and the majority are from which country? From what you've seen?
I will say Mexico.
Yeah,
It's full of Mexicans. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
lots of Mexicans in Vancouver. Yeah, well, yeah. So the reason I speak Spanish is
Yeah.
because I met Mexicans in Vancouver. Yeah, and there's a lot of Mexicans in Vancouver for sure. Even though that's a good thing because lots of taquerias. And I'm guessing it's better now. When first went to Vancouver, there's a few taquerias, but now I'm guessing there's even more. Oh man, Vancouver must be heaven if you want to have Mexican food. Do you like Mexican food?
Oof, I love it. But I love my friends cooking because they cook really good and I prefer their food than going to any restaurant.
But
And
you
my
see,
roommate,
Mexican,
she's amazing. Yes, she's a
yeah.
really good cook. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, all your roommates are good cooks, or is it just your Mexican roommate that's a good cook?
My Mexican roommate is the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Yes.
And what is her specialty? What does she cook that you love more than anything?
Oh, I don't remember the name. I
You
always
don't
have to
remember?
ask her. It's like
Okay,
it says what is the name of my favorite plate, but I never
but it's like
remember.
tacos, the
Yes,
enchiladas. Is it
it's
rice?
something that you put something in tacos.
Okay.
She cooks meat in a specific way, and
Uh huh.
it's my favorite thing. Oh, but she cooks really good, so I could
Yeah.
eat anything that she makes. It's a really good cook. Yeah, I
Yeah. Oh
love
yeah. When you.
when she cooks.
Yeah.
That's why today I woke up kind of late because yesterday
Okay.
we had a party because of her.
Okay. Okay. Oh, because she
So
was
I was
cooking, or
late to bed.
because it was like her birthday?
We were celebrating Los Reyes Magos, the three
Oh
wise
yeah.
men.
Yeah. Is that holiday important for Spanish people? Because I know for Mexicans it's more important
Yeah,
than Christmas. But I don't know
yes,
about people in Spain. I don't know if it's important or not.
it's holiday.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
holiday for us.
because for Mexicans, from what I know, it's the day when they get presents, and also they
Mhm.
have the rosca. I think it's the special bread.
La rosca.
Do
Yeah,
do Spanish people also have the rosca, or is
same,
it? Yeah. Okay.
same.
And in
It's
Spain, they also
different,
have
but
baby
it's same.
Jesus inside. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, so yeah, very
same.
similar. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. And who got baby Jesus yesterday?
Oh, most of them because
Everybody
there
got
are a lot
baby
of
Jesus.
yes, yes.
Oh, they have lots of Jesuses inside. Yeah.
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 I don't know,
Now,
5 or 7.
holy, well, geez, that's cheating. You can't have so many Jesuses in a rosca. Uh, now, now Mexico, if you get the baby Jesus, that means I think on February 3rd they have to make tamales. In Spain, is it
Mhm.
something similar? Do they have tamales in Spain? I think that's very
No, we
Mexican.
don't.
No,
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 we
no. Okay.
don't. If you eat the baby Jesus,
Yeah, yeah.
next year you have to pay for the rosca.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So yeah, a little bit
You have
different
to
than
invite
what
people.
Mexicans do. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, and because of course there's lots of Mexicans, and I think there's other Latinos as well in Vancouver. Did you know a lot about the other Latin American cultures before, or was it something that you basically learned about, got to know when you arrived in Vancouver?
It's something that I learned once I was here. I didn't know too much about other Latin cultures,
Hmm.
and it's nice because it's funny because my Mexican roommate,
Hmm.
her group of friends, most of them are Spanish people, and for
Okay.
me, most of my friends are Mexicans
Yeah, yeah.
or Latins.
Uh-huh.
So yes, we have different groups, and
Uh-huh.
she's with the Spanish, and I am with Mexicans.
Yeah. Well, and are
Yes,
there lots of Spanish people in Vancouver from what you've seen, or
no,
not too
really,
many? Not
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 too
too many.
many. No, compared to Latins, we are a small group of people. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah. So as Mexicans, have you met any other Latinos? Like, have you met Argentinians? Have you met any Colombians in Vancouver? Any
Brazilians,
Venezuelans? Brazilians? Okay. Yeah. Ah,
Brazilians,
yeah.
Colombians.
Hmm. I remember when I was working in a restaurant in downtown Vancouver, there was two Brazilians working in the restaurant, which surprised me because I hadn't really met Brazilians before. All right. And have they seemed like really nice people? For me, it's always funny because in Latin America, or I'm guessing if I went to Spain, you know, the Spanish speaking people, they don't really know that much about each other. They kind of know, okay, tango is from Argentina, Mexicans got
Mhm.
tacos, Colombians, Caribbeans, they like to dance a lot. Um, and sometimes they can kind of like, oh, malditos mexicanos, oh, malditos argentinos. But it's funny, as soon as they get to Canada, all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, Canadians don't know anything about, reggaeton. They don't know anything about the Spanish speaking cultures. Mexicans, I love you. You guys are fantastic. You're now my best friend. So it's like when they're in their home countries, they don't really like each other. But as soon as they're in Canada, all of a sudden their
Yes, we
best
love each
friends
other.
are other Latinos. So yeah, I'm guessing it's the same experience for you. Like you didn't really know anything about other
Uh,
Latinos, and then you get to
kind
Vancouver
of.
and oh, you guys are so fantastic. I can speak Spanish with you, and we can talk about reggaeton and dance reggaeton at parties together.
Yeah, sometimes it's a relief that you can share your culture with others, or you can
Mhm.
have fun in the same way that you do in your own country with others.
Yeah.
So yes, we used to get in groups and to make friends with the same language. Even we have friends with other or Canadians or with, coming from other countries, but that's something that you tend to do because at the end of the day you don't have your family close to you, and sometimes you like to share plates or
Mhm.
I don't know, dancing,
Mhm.
singing, just
Yeah.
as activities that you do in your own country.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why we are together.
Yeah. Because I think
We
obviously,
understand each other.
yeah, exactly. I think like sometimes when I say Latino in my videos, for Latinos that never left their country, they kind of get offended, like, oh, my culture is completely different than their culture. And for me, I say like I completely agree. I don't think Mexicans are the same as Argentinians. I don't think Argentinians are the same as Spanish speaking people. But like for you, you're Spanish, so I think even more so you're even more different than the Latinos. But
Yeah,
still, I think there is a general Latino culture, and when you guys do meet each
yeah,
other, in England or in the United States or in Canada, I find that you guys realize, oh, we have a lot more in common that we have differences, and we're a lot more
yeah,
similar than we are similar to Anglo Saxons, Canadians, Americans, British people.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I totally agree with that because sometimes, as I said, it's hard to hang out with Canadians.
Mhm.
So you have to do something else,
Yeah.
and you start meeting with people from your culture.
Mhm.
Also, it's funny because you learn or you see the differences.
Mhm.
It's pretty different. Spain is so different from Latin America. I actually
Mhm.
thought we were more similar. Well,
Okay,
we are
yeah,
so similar, but we have many differences even when speaking.
of course. Well, I think so for speaking, obviously vocabulary. Actually,
Mhm.
I keep on hearing, again, I never been to Spain. I don't really listen to much Spanish from Spain, even though obviously the best TV shows are usually, oh, profe, necesitas ver Casa de
Casa
Papel
de Papel.
y las películas de ese director famoso de España. And like, it's like, no, my Spanish has to be Latino. I cannot mix my Spanish with Spanish from Spain. Oh, why was I talking about that? Yeah, so obviously there's differences between the cultures. So for you, you said there's similarities, but there's also differences. So what are some of the biggest differences that you've noticed now interacting with Latinos in Vancouver?
Well, I think they are sweeter than we are.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
sweet. Okay, yeah.
yes. Sometimes they think that we are doing giving them orders, like
Oh,
bring
okay, yeah.
this or give me that, but it's not like that. We
Actually,
are not.
yeah, because but I've noticed it with the Latinos too. But maybe you guys do it even more so. Like when you guys ask for things at dinner, for example, when I'm in Latin America, they'll say, "Pásame el sal." No, el sal,
Yeah,
yeah, el sal.
pásame
Yeah,
eso.
yeah.
But it
So for
depends
me as
on
a
the tone.
Canadian, yeah, if yeah, as a Canadian, like maybe you've noticed this with Canadians. If you say in English, "Pass me the salt," It's like, oh, a little bit rude. Geez, say please, or say something like, could you please pass me the salt? So
Yeah.
for me, it's a bit of a culture shock in Latin America because
Yeah.
Latinos will say, pásame, 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 pásame. And for me, that's imperativo, and that is giving an order. So it sounds like in Spain, you guys do it even more. Like you guys are constantly,
Yes.
give me, give me, give me, give me.
Yes, we don't beat around the bush. We are so direct.
I see.
Like,
So even for
give me salt.
Latinos, you guys are very direct. Lots
Yes,
of
we are
orders.
very, very direct compared with them. So yes, I have to change a bit because I know that sometimes it sounds hard. Now I try to say, could you please give me the salt, please? Please,
I'm
please,
guessing in
please.
English and in Spanish, like when you're talking to the
Yes.
Mexicans, like,
Yes.
¿podrías pasarme el sal, por favor? Yes, could you please pass me the salt?
Yeah.
All right.
But I have to say that it's not rude for us because we know when it's polite or when it's rude, depending on the tone.
Tone of the voice.
So
Tone of the voice.
yes,
Okay.
we can read under
Okay.
the tone. Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, for Canadians and for other Latinos, they don't quite understand the tone of voice. All right. And then also for speaking, I think you guys in Spain, you guys use vosotros. Is that what you guys use?
Vosotros instead of ustedes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys don't have usted. You guys don't use usted. That's Latinos use usted. Or do you guys use usted?
We say usted for old people is very respectful for us.
Okay. Yeah. And
or
what
when
about
you have
for
an
tú?
interview.
Do you guys use tú or do you guys use something else?
Tú.
Okay, tú. Okay. So okay. Yeah. So it's yo, tú, él, ella, of course. And then vosotros instead of ustedes, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, nosotros. Is it nosotros? You guys also use nosotros or something else?
Yes. Nosotros, vosotros y ellos.
All right. So the only thing that's really different for the conjugation is vosotros.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've read, I think I got some books here that are written in Spanish from Spain. And yeah, because the vosotros, is it vosotros corred? What do you get? What's the conjugation of vosotros?
Vosotros in present, vosotros corréis.
Yeah, corres. What about? I think there's like a imperativo. Is it imperativo de nosotros? Is like corred or leyed.
Corred. Yes, corred. Pero
is that the order?
Corred. Yes, it's like run.
Yeah. Because I think that's the hardest thing when I was reading books, like in Spanish from Spain, was that ed for corredo, leyedo. It seems so strange to see this d at the end of the word, and I think only you guys use it.
We have very different verbs compared to you, conjugations. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
For us, the worst part is vowels. You have many vowels.
Well, no, of course, yeah, in English, the vowels are very, very difficult. I know what you're talking about.
That's why I follow you.
To learn the vowels, right? Oh, yes. I know the importance of pronouncing vowels well in English. And I've also heard from Spanish from Spain is maybe one of the quickest. They say that people in Spain speak really quickly compared to other Latinos, for example, Mexicans or Colombians. Yeah. Maybe not the Caribbeans. Caribbeans speak very fast, but they say for other Latinos, you guys speak very fast.
We speak very fast and try to go to the south. It's even worse.
Yeah.
So sorry for your friend who is living in Sevilla, because for sure I bet it's been pretty hard for him.
Yeah. And do you guys get rid of the S's at the end of words like they do in the Caribbean? Yes?
Yes.
All right.
We don't have the final S.
All right. Is there anything else that you guys do to speak very quickly in the south of Spain?
No, really. We are like the Aussies, I think, because we use a lot of shortcuts for words. So even Spanish people from other cities sometimes cannot understand us because of the speed and because all the weird words that we use. We use the same words, but we pronounce differently.
All right, good. All right, now I want to talk about Canadians. You touched on it a little bit. So for people who've never been to Canada, how would you describe Canadians to them? What should they know about? What are some strange things about them? Yeah. How are Canadians from your perspective?
Oh, for me, Canadians are pretty polite, pretty friendly. I actually love Canadians because I have a really good experience with you in general since I came here. And of course, you are pretty well organized. in
Okay.
terms of your days.
So when we say organized, is it mostly just about like schedule? Like we really respect
Yeah.
time? Because actually,
Yes.
I wrote a tweet about this, and I tell Latinos this all the time: is if you want to thank a gringo, Canadian American, the best thing you can say is thank you for your time. Because yeah, when I talk to Latinos, they never thanking me for my time, and for Canadians, and I think Americans, same thing. Just we love time. Time is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Time is money. So if we do something for somebody, the first thing that I tell Latinos to say is, "Gringo, thank you for your time." And yeah, when a Latino says that to me, it's just like,
Oh.
oh, they understand that my time is important. I love it. Yeah, so I think that's the thing that you notice is that for us, time is very important. Like we want you to arrive on time. We want to have a schedule.
Yeah, I know that. It's different from Latins, right? Also, something that it surprised me a lot is how respectful you are with everyone.
Okay.
My first time in a bus, when I got into the bus, I was so surprised when I saw people saying, "Hello, driver. Thank you, driver." And the driver
Actually,
is so
mhm,
nice.
mhm. Actually, I think that might be just Vancouver because I know exactly what you're talking about. So for people who don't know, in Vancouver, when you get on the bus, you say, yeah, hello, good morning, good afternoon to the driver. And when you get off the bus, people will say thank you, which,
Thank you, driver.
yeah. And I've heard, I did not know this, but I guess it's only in Vancouver that they do this. So it's actually a very Vancouver thing that they do. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Very polite. Yeah, I think it's very nice. I went to other
Yes, it's very
countries
nice.
after living in Vancouver for 4 years, and yeah, nobody talked to the driver. And I thought, oh, poor driver. He doesn't get any love, doesn't get any attention. But yeah, we're very polite. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That was something that surprised me,
Hmm.
but I really like that.
Hmm.
And it says a
Yes.
lot about Canadians, I guess.
Yeah, I think yeah, I like the buses and the trains in Vancouver. Yeah, because of that, and also uh, in other parts of the world, they say like if there's a woman or an old person or especially a woman that's pregnant, get off the seat, give it to them, and
Yeah.
like in Buenos Aires and Mexico, in Bogota. They have signs that say this, but people don't always follow the signs. But in Canada,
Yes.
always, if there's an older person that gets on, somebody with a
Mhm.
disability, a pregnant woman, no matter what, we automatically get up and we give them our seat. We're very polite on buses for sure.
Yes, very polite in general. Because if you're in a store, they are so respectful, or you are so respectful with lines. No one try to
Oh
pass
yeah,
you.
when I go to Latin
uh,
America, and I think in Spain, saying, oh, I hate when people butt in front of me. Yeah, in Canada, if there's a line, you get in the line. Don't even think about butting in line.
yes. Or if someone is walking close to you and hit you by mistake, they say sorry.
You say sorry for everything. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, or yes, it's so different. But I love it. I love that.
Yeah, so yeah, we really respect other people's space. Because when I go to other countries, for example, walking down the street. So if I'm in Latin America, I'm walking faster than other people. Of course, I'm Canadian. I like to walk fast. I don't like to walk slow. So in Canada, obviously, if somebody's walking faster than you, you're gonna, get out of the way, let them pass. Whereas in other parts of the world, it drives me crazy, but yeah, they don't care. They're just, walking with their friends, and you have to like walk around them and then go in front of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Canadians were very respectful of time and very respectful of space. We don't want to, yeah,
I'm very
disrespect
respectful
people in
with
that way.
nature too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
clean.
So yeah, well, describe that to people because I completely agree with you, and I don't, I'm not here to say, oh, Canadians were better, but when it comes to nature, I would say it almost makes me cry when I go to other places in the world because people don't respect nature. So, what is respecting nature from the Canadian perspective? What have you seen from Canadians?
You're pretty clean. When you go to the mountain, you don't see garbage. You
Mhm.
don't see plastics. You don't see anything. And also they are quiet when they are doing a hike, or you can tell that the group of people is Canadian people, or they are from other countries, because
Mhm.
For example, Spanish people, we are so noisy. Same for Latins. We speak a lot, so loud, but Canadians are quiet. They just enjoy the nature. They go, they walk, and then I don't know. I think they are so respectful with noises as well. But for me, the best thing is about cleaning. You don't throw away anything. So that's so nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it drives me crazy. I remember, obviously, I was in Cartagena, for example. So this is for Latinos, or people from Spain. I was in Cartagena and I was on the bus and I was talking to a group of young Colombians. And there's one Colombian sitting in front of me, and he had a plastic cup that had candy in it, and he had eaten all the candy. And so I'm just talking to him, and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden he just crunches the cup and he throws it onto the ground of the bus. And as a Canadian, two things about Canadians. One, we don't like to show emotion. So even if somebody does something offensive, so maybe Angie agrees with this, we don't like to say anything. It does bother us. So sometimes it can be hard for Latinos or maybe people from Spain to know if they're being offensive or not, because we don't like to make a brouhaha, un escándalo in front of people.
Yeah.
So as a Canadian, I saw this. I didn't really show any emotion, but on the inside, of course, like you said, Canadians are very clean and we don't like to litter. I almost died inside. There's a little piece of me that just turned black and turned into dust. I couldn't believe that somebody would do that. Just crunched up a cup and threw it onto the floor. So yeah, so Angie could probably tell everybody here, Canadians would never ever do that on a bus, on a mountain. And I think also talking about the sound, when I'm in Latin America, I'm guessing Spain is the same, obviously. Spanish-speaking world, you guys like to speak, but also in Latin America, for example, when they go hiking, they'll take a speaker and they'll play music.
Oh, yeah. I know that.
And yeah, you probably know. Do we ever play music when we go for a hike?
No, never.
Never.
You will never see a Canadian doing that. No, for sure.
Yeah. So for Canadians, when we go for a hike, when we go to nature, yeah, we don't litter and we don't want to hear music. We just want to hear the forest. We want to hear the birds. We want to hear the wind. We don't want to hear any music. The forest is not a place for Bad Bunny. It's not a place for Setaganga. It's not a place for Rosalia. It's a place to listen to nature. So yeah. I agree. I agree, Angie. I agree. All right. Well, I think we're getting close to the interview here, or what I want to talk about with you. But I want to ask you, from your own perspective, what are your favorite parts of Vancouver or the area? Just for anybody who's thinking about moving to Vancouver, what would you say are the places that they have to visit, the places that they have to go to in the Vancouver area?
Well, I will say that BC in general is so beautiful. It's awesome. And even I said that Vancouver wasn't my favorite city. It's not that ugly city. It's nice. You have activities to do here. Probably it's not the most alive city in the world, but you have options. But for me, the best is nature. So as an outdoor lover, my suggestion is go outside, enjoy the nature, because it's beautiful, it's huge, it's wild, and you can have a great experience outside, enjoying the silence of nature, as you said.
Yeah. Don't bring any speakers. Don't bring any speakers, please.
Lakes are, I don't know, I have no words to describe the lakes in BC.
Yeah, no.
Yes, the color blue, it's beautiful.
Yeah, because I didn't know this as a Canadian until I started traveling a little bit. Because for me, as a young Canadian, just for us, lakes are normal, like in a way. So for like people from Spain or Latin America, maybe beaches are normal for you guys. But for Canadians, beaches aren't really that easy to find. We have to go to Mexico, Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
But for us, yeah, we grew up around lakes. So for me, I grew up around a lake. Most Canadians grow up around lakes, whether they're in Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia. So for me, the lakes are beautiful in all of Canada, but yeah, especially in British Columbia. So maybe some of your favorites. So what is your favorite lake that you've been to in British Columbia?
I have a good memory about Garibaldi,
Oh, okay. Oh, where's
Garibaldi
actually?
Lake.
I I don't think I've ever been there. Well, there's lots of lakes in
It's
Canada, so I'm not too sure. So where is it located? Is it north? Is it east of Vancouver?
well, it's going to Whistler. I
Okay.
think I'm
Yeah.
a passenger always in the car,
Yes,
and I
you
don't
don't.
pay a
Yeah.
lot of attention.
But is it like so?
But
Is it kind of like between Whistler and Vancouver?
yes, my sense of directions is really bad. But yes, I
Uh,
know it's going in that
s-
way.
somewhere over
Also,
there.
you
Yeah.
have Panorama, you have Geoffrey Lakes. Geoffrey Lakes is pretty popular because
Okay.
you can find three different lakes, and the three of them are beautiful and blue, and
Hmm.
they are the typical lakes for a picture.
Hmm.
But Garibaldi was one of my favorite ones because it was my first long and hard hike, snow
Okay.
camping, and it was an amazing experience for me. It was hard because,
Hmm.
as I said, it was my first time doing
Yeah.
backpacking and snow camping,
Uh-huh.
but it was
But you say
wonderful.
snow camping? So is that like basically camping in the snow?
Yes,
So you went. Oh, so you went in the winter. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. That must have been an experience for sure. Yeah, because the snow in Canada is a lot more than probably anything in Spain. I'm guessing.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
the white color is so nice.
Yeah. I like snow. So actually, well, yeah. Do you like snow or do you not like snow? Because I've heard
I really
for
love the
me
snow.
as a Canadian, I love snow. And sometimes I hear
I love the snow.
Latinos, they're like, oh, I don't like the winter. Like, yeah, I understand it's cold, but you don't see the snow. It's so perfectly white. It's so beautiful. The sun
Mm.
shines and it sparkles. So yeah, so you like the snow?
I love the snow. I love the snow. Yeah, I hate the rain, but
Yeah.
I love the snow. Yeah,
Yeah, actually I would say that because yeah, winter in Vancouver is horrible because it rains, rains, and it rains. It's like 6 months of rain. And while it is true, it is warmer than the rest of Canada, the temperature is like 5 degrees Celsius cold, and the rain just kind of enters your bones. And
yeah. It's
it's
pretty
for
wet all
me,
the
it's
time.
even worse cold than minus 20 degrees Celsius with snow. Just my personal opinion. So sometimes Latinos will think, or even Canadians will think, oh, go to Vancouver, Victoria, it's going to be warmer. I don't know. For me, the cold, that rain cold in Vancouver and Victoria, it's difficult. I prefer snow cold. I prefer snow cold. It's better for me.
Yes, I haven't experienced minus 21 Celsius. No,
Yeah,
you are in that part of Canada.
yeah. I have no problems with that. No problems. And what about for I don't know, mountains or hiking? What is your favorite mountain or favorite maybe favorite mountain to hike in the Vancouver area or British Columbia or that you've been to
Okay.
so far?
Yes, I have done a lot at this point, but Squamish is one of my favorite areas. You can find many
Mhm.
different hikes and mountains, beautiful views and landscapes. So you have different options there, and it's pretty close to Vancouver. You have to
Mhm.
drive just maybe 1.5 hour or 2 hours, depends on where you want to go.
Mhm.
Um, or I don't know. Also, Osoyoos is beautiful. It's sunny, really sunny in summer and really hot,
Mhm.
but you can find beautiful spots as well. Um, I don't know, close to Vancouver, you can go to Lynn Valley or
Yeah,
Gross Mountain is the most typical hike, but it's not my favorite hike.
because it's too easy,
too,
too many people.
mm, oh, too many steps.
Oh, really? Oh,
Too,
really? Okay,
yeah,
it's like it's too steep. It's just like a really
yeah. It's
really hard
high,
work.
it's short, but it's pretty high. But it's not because of that. It's probably because I have seen more beautiful views after I
Mhm.
finish my hikes. So that's good to start with a hike in Vancouver to start warming up.
Mhm.
But then you can find other beautiful spots. Manning Park is another one
Okay.
that I did recently in September. It's really different because the colors that you can see are yellow, red instead of
Mhm.
green. And
Yeah.
yes, I will say those are my favorite ones.
Okay. And for me, Vancouver, the city itself has lots of parks. So do you have
Mhm.
a favorite? Do you have a favorite park in Vancouver?
Queen Elizabeth Park.
Oh yeah, Queen Elizabeth is very nice. but Vancouver has so many nice parks because there's Stanley Park, there's Queen Elizabeth. There's another one. I don't know if you've been to it. I think it's kind of close to Queen Elizabeth. But I can't remember the name. I think it has like a garden,
Van
but you
Dusen
walk through. Yeah, maybe it's close. It's
with
close
the
to Queen
lights.
Elizabeth. Yeah, it might in the like Christmas time. It might have a light
Mhm.
show. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I never been there. But I went there with my mom like my last month in Vancouver, and it was a very nice park as well. Have you been to the parks at University of British Columbia?
Yeah, it's nice too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those beaches. Well, yeah, there's also beaches in Vancouver. Of course, not as nice as beaches in Spain, I'm guessing. But do you have a favorite beach in Vancouver?
Not really.
No. Well, is it because the water is cold, or because compared to Spain, the beaches aren't that nice.
Well, maybe English Bay,
English Bay. Yeah.
because I don't I haven't seen many beaches in Vancouver more
Yeah.
than English Bay, second bay, or I don't remember the names
Oh,
of
yeah.
all of
Yeah.
those beaches. Oh, Kitsilano is beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because there's a few beaches. There's the beaches at the University of British Columbia. That's where the naked people are. So if you go to
Yeah, I
Vancouver,
haven't
all the
been there. I haven't been in that one, but people say that it's the most beautiful beach here. Apparently, the sunset is really nice.
yeah, if you want to see a good sunset, go there for sure. Yeah, and then
Mhm.
by Stanley Park, there's first beach, second beach, third beach. I think third beach is in Stanley Park. First beach
Yeah.
is more close to downtown. Second beach is kind of at the entrance to Stanley Park. Yeah, and there's also the boardwalk. Do you like the boardwalk in Vancouver? The Malecon, the sea. I think it's
Oh,
called the seawall. The
yeah,
seawall.
yes. It's
Yeah,
yes, it's nice. You can do that riding a bike.
yeah.
Is
Mhm,
the best way to see it, in my opinion.
mhm. Good.
You can
And
walk too.
yeah, and Vancouver's also very multicultural. Do you have any? Well, obviously you love the Mexican food from your roommate. But is there like any food in particular in Vancouver that you like? Obviously, Vancouver famous for the Asian food.
Asian food.
Get yeah. So like there's
Yes, Asian
Chinese,
food is really good.
Japanese, Indian food in Vancouver, Thai food, Filipino food.
All of
So
them.
yeah, you
All
like
of
all of
them.
them? Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I like to
yeah,
try different foods. I like
yeah.
to try new
Mhm.
tastes, but and flavors. But yes, Asian food, probably Japanese is the
Yeah, Japanese,
best.
yeah. Yeah. But
Sushi.
like yeah, sushi, yeah, for sure. All right. And oh man, I had one more question about Vancouver one because very typical. I think it can be surprising for people that don't know Canada that well. Even for me, a little bit, it was a bit shocking. But Vancouver has a lot of Chinese people. What was it a surprise for you when you got there? Because I have talked to Latinos that go to Vancouver and they
Yeah.
say, I thought Canadians looked like you, profe, and then I go to Vancouver and
Yes.
half the people are
It,
Chinese.
yeah, it was a shock when I came to Vancouver because my first impression was like, where am I? Is this
Yeah.
Vancouver? Is this China? Where I am? I don't know. It was so confusing because it was full of Asian people.
Mhm,
But then this is a mix of cultures. So
mhm,
probably most of Canadians in Vancouver
mhm,
come from Asians. So
mhm.
their faces look like an Asian,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of Filipinos. Filipinos are really similar to Latins or to
Yeah. And I think
Spanish.
they're very friendly, aren't they? Yeah, I think they're very friendly. I don't know
Oh,
if they're
they are.
friendlier, but they're very friendly people.
They are so nice. They are so cheerful. They love dancing
Oh, they
and
like dancing? Okay.
joining.
Yeah.
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 Yes. And talking to you. They are so nice. Yes, I
Yeah.
have good experiences with Filipinos. Actually,
Yeah.
with most of the cultures, Chinese
Yeah.
or Japanese or yeah, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Vancouver's interesting because definitely lots of cultures, even though in a way they kind of keep separate. Like there's a little bit of intermingling and they're very polite to each other. But for example, the Chinese, they usually live in Richmond. The
Mhm.
Hindus, or the Sikhs, I don't know the people from India, they live in Burnaby. I think no,
Mhm.
not Burnaby. Sorry, Surrey. They live in Surrey.
Yeah.
Burnaby, I think traditionally was Italian, but I think they might have, a bit more mixture of other
Oh,
cultures now.
commercial is for Italians.
Oh, okay, yeah, Commercial Drive. And then I think North Vancouver is Persians. I don't know if you've met any Persians, but there's lots of
Mm.
Persians in North Vancouver. And then I guess the traditional Canadians, they kind of live in Vancouver and West Vancouver. West Vancouver is where all the rich Canadians. That's where they will live. So yeah, very, very diverse place for sure. All right. I
Yeah.
think the last thing I want to talk to you about is just learning English. So you've been learning English for 3 years. You said basically you threw yourself into the fire. So you didn't really take English classes. You just basically went to business class and it was all in English. So yeah, you have a fantastic English level. Describe what was your process of learning English. Was it just basically you went to these classes and with time you learned English, or was there anything else that you did to try to speed up the process?
Uh, I just watch YouTube videos and follow accounts like yours. Uh,
Mhm.
I discovered you because one of my friends, hello if you are watching this, Elena,
Okay. Yeah.
because she suggested me to start following you, and that's how I started uh, polishing my English because it was so hard at the beginning. I just wanted to communicate and to socialize with people. I love talking to people. I love
Mhm.
making friends. I love
Mhm.
share my experiences. I need to talk with others.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just because I wanted to do it, and also I have my goal in my mind to speak in
Mhm.
English, to get a better job, and I don't know. Also, I study another thing. I'm a graphic designer, so I did that course in Vancouver.
Mhm. Where do you
Um,
study? Emily Carr
oh no, in
or
Focus
Vancouver
Film
Film?
School.
Oh, okay.
It's
Must be a
another
different
is
one.
another
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I studied graphic design there, so I just want to accomplish all my goals,
Mhm.
and I just push myself to do it.
Yeah.
And I think just because I wanted to
Yeah.
communicate, it's why I learned how to speak in English. And because
Mhm.
I want to improve my job, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. And was there anything that you focused on? Like, for example, like your accent is very neutral. Like, I cannot tell. Like, if I didn't know you're from Spain, I probably wouldn't. I might know that you're foreign, but I wouldn't know exactly where you're from. Like, it's an incredibly neutral
Thank you.
accent. But like, of course, there are people like me on YouTube, social media that really try to teach. Okay, this is how we actually speak. Was it something that you focused on the accent, or was it just something you picked up because you were constantly listening to people in Vancouver and on social media? And yeah, sometimes people just have really good ears and they just can pick up an accent really easily. So what was your case? Was it easy? Did you really focus on it?
Well, I think I'm not really good for languages, to be honest.
Okay.
But I try to do like the babies do.
Hmm.
Just try to repeat what Canadians say
Hmm.
and try to sound similar. Even I
Yeah.
know it's hard for me and I
Hmm.
cannot do it
Yeah.
as precise as you do, but I try
Yeah.
to repeat and repeat. If I
Hmm.
can do it out loud, I try to do it in my mind, like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
water or water,
Yeah.
and try
Well,
to fix
yeah,
it.
and do you do it when, like, for example, if you're talking to me, I'm a Canadian. Like, do you do it in your
Yeah.
head while you're listening to me, or do you do it like after you finish the conversation, you go home and say, okay, it was really interesting how Kyle said this. I'm gonna, just say it constantly for one day to try to,
Yeah.
get stuck in my head.
While I'm listening to you, I'm
Yeah.
trying to absorb as much as possible what
Hmm.
you say. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
All
Yeah.
the time. Or if I
Yeah.
heard something new, it's like, oh, see that way to pronounce something.
Hmm. Exactly. I think, well, maybe it seems really simple to people, but I think it's really good advice. I do the same thing in Spanish if I'm listening to somebody, and maybe I just like, oh, I like how they said that. Okay, gotta remember that. Even though it can be bad sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you. Sometimes you do that, and then you start thinking about it so much that you lose track of the conversation, and then like, oh, well,
Ah,
what were you saying? Oh, sorry, I was focusing on your pronunciation so much that I forgot about what we were talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I try to keep
Uh,
focus, but sometimes
yeah,
my mind goes
in
dispersed.
your own world. Yeah. All right. And yeah, I don't know. Any other advice that you give to somebody who wants to learn English? Because again, for me, 3 years, it's really good what you've done. I think lots of people think, oh, they're going to learn English, in 1 year, it's going to be perfect. It takes a long time usually. And for me, you've done this in 3 years. It's really impressive. Any other advice that you would give to people who are trying to learn English? Well, quickly, like for
Yeah.
me, you learned it quickly. So yeah, any
Well,
advice?
thank you.
Mhm.
Well, my advice is that Canada is a great country to learn English because people
Okay.
is so nice. and probably they will help you to improve your English, and they won't you won't feel the pressure.
Mhm.
Okay, just if you have that pressure in your mind, but
Yeah.
not because of people is pressing you. Also, my other advice is be patient with yourself, because this is a long process. This is something that it doesn't happen in 2 days. I had that rush when I came here. I thought I was going to learn English in 3 months. I wanted to be bilingual. That's not true at all. So just be patient and push yourself to talk with others, even you don't talk properly. And don't be shy, because
Yeah.
if you are shy, you have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you need to practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard because you feel ashamed, or you feel embarrassed to speak with others and not be able to say what you want to. You feel as a baby, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. People
Yeah.
people people appreciate that you are making that effort, and probably with time you will get better. So yes, just be kind with yourself and try it. You will never learn in your country, or if you don't do anything different. So just do it. For me, this experience changed my life totally 100%. I'm not the same person as I was before I came here. So yeah, Canada for me is the best place. I love this country. I love the people, and I don't want to go back to Spain. Even I love Spain as well,
Yeah.
but and I miss my family. But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this time so much. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Vancouver is a magical place. I think I would probably live in Vancouver if it. I think it's really expensive, and so I think that's the biggest thing that stops some people from living there. Is just it's too expensive for them. And it's kind of funny that you said about being shy, because yeah, for me, like people from Spain, Latin America, they're not shy people, but as soon as they learn English, all of a sudden they're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to speak. It's like in Spanish, you don't stop speaking. Just just do the same thing in English. Just speak as much as you want in English, like you do in Spanish. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Yes.
kind of funny how shy you guys get when you start speaking English. In Spanish,
Yeah.
in English, oh. Yeah.
Actually, this interview is being a challenge for me because I
Yeah.
hate to talk in front of people. I,
Mhm.
I feel so bad, even in Spanish.
Mhm.
So for me, this is a good practice to, yes, to I don't know, to just do it
Yeah.
and
To
don't,
push yourself. Yeah.
yes, to push myself and try to keep improving. I know that I have misspellings and I have things to fix and improve, but whatever. This is
Yeah.
part of the process.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, like, just for anybody listening, grammar wise, I really haven't heard any mistakes that Angie has made. Like maybe every once in a while there's a pronunciation mistake, but yeah, like grammar wise, I'm impressed. I think vocabulary too. Like you use correct vocabulary. I'm guessing you do this. I'm just guessing. Like you don't use like really advanced vocabulary, but you know basically how to use the vocabulary that you have right now to express what you want. Because like sometimes I hear you speaking English to me, and I can tell that, okay, I want to express this. I don't know the exact word, but I have all these other words that I can use to express what I want. So I think that's a really good skill that people should have when they're learning a language. Is just you're not always going to have the vocabulary that you want, but you can always find ways to express yourself using the vocabulary that you already have. And I think you do a good job of that. I think the last question I have for you is about Vancouver. I met a lot of Latinos when I was in Vancouver, and they're the reasons that I speak Spanish. And one of my roommates, he was from Guadalajara in Mexico. I'm not too sure where your roommate is from, but he is from Guadalajara, and very similar to you, he didn't want to go back to Mexico. He loved Vancouver. In a way, it was like this paradise on earth for him. So I'm just curious, because you also said that you want to get a better job and you're improving your English because that's one of your main goals. So have you basically reached the Vancouver nirvana, like where you've accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish and you just want to live the rest of your days in the paradise, which is Vancouver? Or do you still have a lot of goals for yourself in order to improve your situation in Vancouver?
Actually, I think I reached everything that I had in mind. And right now, I'm living my best moment in Canada.
Mhm.
The only thing is probably just keep improving my English,
Mhm.
my vocabulary, as you said.
Mhm.
Um, but otherwise, the rest of the things, I got the job that I wanted to.
Mhm.
Um, I'm able to speak in English now. I have a really nice group of friends. I love them. They teach me many things. I have really nice experiences. I have weekends off in Canada,
Yeah, yeah,
things that I didn't have in Spain.
yeah.
So yes, I'm living a great moment.
Mhm. All right.
Yes.
And do you have any future goals? Because future goals for yourself, like right now, you're living with a whole bunch of people. Like, I don't know, in 5 years, do you want to basically have your own apartment or something like that? Do you have any goals like that, or
Yeah.
like you said, are you're happy with your friends? You're happy living with these other
Yeah.
people, and yeah, you're not really thinking about that at the moment.
I'm not really thinking about that at the moment. I'm just flowing with life, and I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on in 5 years. But
yeah,
what is happening in 5 years is going to be fine because it is what it is. So you cannot
mhm,
change the flow of life.
yeah,
It's fine if I can have my own house, if I can afford that. It's nice, of course.
mhm,
But if
yeah,
I just can't pay for my rent, that's good. Okay, that's
yeah,
good too. So.
yeah. It would, because obviously it's cheaper to live in the suburbs of Vancouver, but obviously the
Yeah.
suburbs aren't as nice. Like, would you ever think about going to the suburbs just to maybe have more space or have your own place? Or for you, it's better, to have roommates, live in a shared house, but be in the middle of Vancouver, like one of the best cities in the world, just because of everything that you have, the mountains, the beaches, the seawall.
Yeah, maybe in the future I can move to another place. I don't need to be in downtown.
Okay.
I don't mind to live far of downtown. So if
Okay.
I can pay for my own place, of course, one day I want to do that because I'm
Hmm.
33. So
Yeah.
sharing with roommates forever is not my plan,
Yeah. Yeah.
either for them.
Hmm.
Even I love them because we
Hmm.
had a really good and really
Yeah.
close relationship between each other. Um, we are like a family right now. But
Yeah.
of course, I love my family in Spain as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that is something that it's going to happen at some point in the future. But probably I will able to do it because this is step by step.
Yeah.
So in the future I will improve my, I don't know, my salary. I cannot complain. So
Yeah.
I just can say good things about my job,
Hmm.
um, the situation that I'm living now. But for now it's good.
Hmm.
I want to live here until I cannot live here anymore.
Hmm.
Because
Until there's
they are.
till there's an earthquake. My mom was always worried that that the earthquake they're always talking about is gonna happen in Vancouver and everybody's gonna die. She was always worried about that. But it probably is
No,
gonna
this.
happen. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen,
No, no, no,
that. But
please.
I think that's the only thing that maybe worries people in Vancouver is maybe that earthquake. But besides that, yeah, Vancouver's like a little
Yes,
tiny
this area is
paradise.
under construction. So probably this house is going to be demolished in a couple of
Oh
years or so.
man, okay. Are they
But a couple
building?
of years is enough.
Are they building a whole bunch of like apartment buildings in the area now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So it's changing slowly. Yeah. Well, everybody
Who
wants to live
knows?
in Vancouver, so they got to keep on building more houses, apartments. All right,
Yeah.
Angie. Well, I think I asked you all the questions that I wanted to ask. I don't know. Is there any final comments you want to make about Canadians, Vancouver, tips, anything else you want to say?
Oh, for me, it's just enjoy the experience. Don't be afraid of moving because all the changes are good in life. And if someone has any questions about living in Canada or living in Vancouver or how is come to Canada even you don't speak in any single word, I'm open
Mhm.
to respond those questions, or if anyone can want to
Mhm.
reach out to me, it's fine. I can give some advices. I'm not an expert, but under my
Yeah.
experience, I just have positive things to say.
Mhm. Good. I don't, do you want to share your Instagram or do you want to keep it private?
Oh, I can share my Instagram. Yes,
Okay.
everyone can
Of
see
course,
the beautiful places that Canada has.
if there's any weird people watching this, don't send Angie any weird messages, okay? All right, but yeah, Angie,
Don't
yeah, so
stop
just
me.
yeah, don't stalk her, okay, please. All right. Yeah, Angie, what's your Instagram?
El ratón viajero.
Oh yeah. Like what is el ratón for Spanish? Like I hear raton, I think rat. Is that what it means?
El
Rat?
gato is like mouse,
Oh, it's mouse. So you're like the traveling mouse, the traveling
the
mouse?
traveler mouse. Yeah,
Traveler mouse, okay. Seems like a strange
it's
name.
because
But is that like
yes,
your nickname? Is you're the raton?
el ratón viajero. Yes, it's because when
Okay.
I was a child, I read
Mhm.
a book
Okay.
called like that, El ratón viajero, and my grandma used to call
Uh,
me like that because we travel a lot because my
okay.
my mom was and we were living in another place far from my mom's family side.
Mhm,
So we travel frequently, and
mhm.
my grandma called me like that. And then my mom called me the same.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, interesting.
El
Yeah,
ratón viajero.
I saw your Instagram name. I thought, oh, that's a interesting name for a girl to give herself. All right. So
Yeah.
that's Angie's Instagram. If you want to send her a message, ask her about Vancouver if you're planning to move there or visit there. Yeah, I would definitely for tourism or for living, yeah, definitely go to Vancouver. It's a beautiful place to go to. All right. So Angie, as a Canadian, I want to say thank you for your time. That's how we do it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time
And
too.
thank you so much. So everybody, thanks for listening to us speak. And Angie, have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, Angie.
Bye bye.